Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Air Force One by Wolfgang Peterson, starring Harrison Ford. Peterson is a pretty famous director and I did watch two films from him, three if you count The Never-Ending Story, since I watched it when I was less than 6 or 7. I don't remember anything, but the films I do remember are Troy and Poseidon. They were pretty good. I wouldn't say they were amazing, but they were solid movies. By the way, I will be watching his most famous movie, if I'm not mistaken, Das Boot, on the channel in the coming weeks. So please subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that. I'm a big fan of Harrison Ford, obviously, and I've watched so many films from him over the years that I lost count. Air Force One is a movie that I did see running on the TV probably in the late 90s or early 2000s. And I wonder if this is the film where he says, "Get off my plane," because I have seen a clip of it and I do remember Harrison Ford being on a plane on that clip. Anyways, if it is, I'm really excited to review this movie. I believe this is a action film where Ford plays the president and Air Force One gets hijacked by some terrorists and chaos ensues. That's all I know to expect though. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full interviews and reactions to this movie and over 180 movies, 2 TV shows, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The links in the description below. Please consider being a Patreon. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications to check out my other videos. Like if you like this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Air Force One, Peterson, Ford. Let's go. Can't wait to get into a good action film. Harrison Ford. Gary Oldman! Holy crap! That's a surprise. Ooh, William H. Macy. Xander Berkeley. He's also a pretty good actor. I've seen him in 24. And Glenn Close. I know she's a very famous actor. I can't name any films from her, so if you have any recommendations starring Glenn Close, do let me know. Presidential Palace, Kazakhstan, former Republic of the USSR. Dude, it looks like an infiltration mission. Yeah, that dude definitely looks like a bad guy. It's an extraction mission, okay. Looks like the Americans are extracting a former USSR leader from his home in Kazakhstan. Oh, that's a real explosion right there. Moscow, 3 weeks later. And I believe they're shooting on location because that looks like the real Kremlin, if you ask me.
I came here tonight to be congratulated. But today when I visited the Red Cross camps, I realized I don't deserve to be congratulated.
What's he doing?
Let's speak the truth.
That's not the speech.
Oh, he's going off script.
Tonight I come to you with a pledge to change America's policy. Never again. We will never negotiate. We will no longer tolerate, and we will no longer be afraid.
Okay. That's a pretty hard stance.
It's your turn to be afraid.
But his message is pretty clear. And the infamous plane, Air Force One.
You know what you committed us to, sir?
Yeah, I know exactly what I committed us to.
Welcome to Air Force One.
Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman is going to be playing the antagonist. Judging by his accent. Whenever he does an accent, you know he's a bad guy.
The President and I were delighted we could accommodate your news crew. So if you boys are all clear.
They're masquerading as a news crew.
With all due respect, sir, next time you want to make a major policy departure, you might want to discuss it with your national security advisor first.
That's a good idea, my man. I wonder whether this is one of those action films where there are comedic undertones. I mean, the comedy isn't just outright, it's more subtle.
Its features are classified, but I can tell you that it's bullet resistant, and that it's even protected against the pulse of a nuclear blast.
I'm not sure that's very comforting.
Volunteering even more info.
Mr. President, welcome aboard, sir.
Come on, Alice. You can finish it on the plane. Let's not keep your father waiting.
Oh? He brought his family with him to Russia.
Was it really good? Did you enjoy it? Did you love it?
I'm 12 years old, Dad. In the caveman days, I'd be having children of my own.
They hated your speech, didn't they? You knew what needed to be done, and you did it. And you spoke from your heart. And that's what I heard tonight.
And a supportive spouse. Okay. Things are about to go down. That's the nuclear football.
These are the advanced team reports from the,
Oh no! He's one of the baddies. There's always an inside mole, so I guess he's playing the mole. Oh man, that must be the signal. Oh no.
Mr. President, stay back.
Code red, we have a code red, I repeat.
Oh man, and they have no idea that he's the mole, so now he's playing both sides. Xander Berkeley Scarcely.
Family! What about my family?
Handling it, sir!
Ooh, nice shot.
Ramstein, this is Air Force One.
Give me an update!
Madam Vice President, this way.
Glenn Close plays the vice president, okay. Like they're going to listen to a crazed madman. Yeah, I don't think the pilot has a choice at this point because he still has to brake. There's a lot to do. Oh! Oh man, I hope they have a pilot in their ranks. Wolfgang Peterson is doing a great job with the chaos and presenting us with a fairly coherent narrative. I can tell that's CGI, but that's okay. Hear the change in music to almost hopeless and despair. It's Jerry Goldsmith doing the score.
Президент.
Президента нет number 2. Успел катапультироваться.
Yes! I love angry Gary Oldman. Unhinged. He's so good.
Where is my husband?
He is fled. The coward chose to save himself.
Ouch.
He will not negotiate.
The entire film is structured by that statement.
Escape pod is visually acquired.
I don't believe for a second that the president is on the escape pod. See? Yes, he's still on board.
This is the person who controls Air Force One. The world's most secure aircraft.
Ouch.
You ran from here like a whipped dog.
I want to understand what it is that you want.
What do I want? When the capitalists are dragged from the Kremlin and shot in the street.
That's his goal. To bring back the USSR to its former glory.
When you talk to the president, you might remind him that I am holding his wife, his daughter, his chief of staff.
What assurances do I have that you'll keep your word?
I'll wait for confirmation that General Radek has been released. Until then, I will execute a hostage every half an hour.
Holy crap.
The president will get back his baseball glove and play catch with this guy's balls.
We need more time.
He's a zealot, tough to negotiate with. All you can do is wear them down.
They finally got the news.
We found the escape pod.
The president is still on
It's empty.
the plane.
Let's not bury him yet. He could still be alive in that plane. Let's not forget this president is a Medal of Honor winner.
Oh.
He knows how to fight.
The president has combat experience, and that's why he chose to stay back. And, of course, the family. Nice misdirection.
I hate to say this, but 50 people is a small price to pay to stop that from happening.
Yeah, I don't like this official. Oh, that was a suplex. I'm actually also enjoying the score by Jerry Goldsmith. And this is the first time we've seen him take a life. Probably since the Vietnam War. Come to think of it, I think Peterson likes to make films in enclosed spaces. Poseidon was on a ship, Das Boot is on a submarine, and Air Force One is on a plane.
3 more minutes before they execute the first hostage.
You have to buy us some more time.
Let me speak to the White House because I promise you, I'm the one person who can make this all work out.
It's going to take more time.
More time.
I knew it. The first to talk is the first to die.
You think I'm a monster?
Why did you kill him?
That I would turn my back on God himself for Mother Russia.
Look at how he's trying to justify his actions.
You are a monster. And my father is a great man.
Yeah, the bad guys are always scarier when they try to justify their actions with their own morality.
This is the president. Connect me to the vice president, please.
They won't believe him.
Did you say he's calling?
Don't move! I'm the president of the United States.
If we're going to act, we have to act now.
It's too risky.
I've just been ordered to fire on Air Force One.
VFX in this film are very good for 1997. Oh, come on, chokehold, nice! That's one of the fastest way to take down someone. Yep, that's fairly realistic, by the way.
What do they want?
They're Russian ultranationalist radicals. They want General Radek released from prison.
Radek. We cannot release Radek. If you give a mouse a cookie.
He's going to want a glass of milk.
That's a good point.
Go. Oh, I don't want to die.
I can see the desired effect.
This is to the Secret Service agent in the baggage deck.
Oh, they still think it's a Secret Service agent.
And if you do not surrender, this nice woman will die.
Don't do it!
It's not like he had a choice. He would have been shot the second he showed his face.
You just murdered an unarmed woman.
You're someone who's smart enough to know if you're hunting with one bullet, you wait for a clean shot.
Nice. Although the entire film is apparently taking on this plane, the budget I don't think is wasted. There's a lot of visual effect shots. There's a lot to unpack.
Without fuel, the plane crashes. Everybody dies.
Nice. Now they're going to get the surprise that the president is actually alive and actively trying to rescue them.
Kids.
Oh no, probably the biggest mistake the president has made so far. Oh man.
There may be a way to get these people off the plane. We have emergency parachutes in the tail cone, but we're too high.
His family is held hostage. It creates an incapacity to discharge the office under the 25th Amendment.
I mean, the bad guys still don't know that they've lost control of the hostages.
Air Force One crash?
Look, as far as I know, that is a rumor. I don't know where that story came from.
Where is the president?
Oh man, I think he's starting to figure out that if he's not on the ground, there's only one other place he could be.
Pull it down. Clear?
Where are your chutes, guys?
We stay with the president, sir.
I mean, I'm sure you have another reason to stay back. Oh no. No way. That's insane. What a shot. They finally come face to face. Marshall and Igor.
You've been very busy downstairs.
That's one way to put it.
Are you an idiot? You'd make him into a hero.
That's true.
Without meaning, without purpose. You have given my country to gangsters.
Fantastic line delivery from Gary Oldman here.
Oh, no! No!
I'll do it. Leave him alone.
Excellent performance by Ford too. We know he got nominated for an Oscar for Witness, which I watched about a week ago on the channel. Do check that out.
He can't do that.
You must have no choice.
I have the signatures of the majority of the cabinet.
Oh, so many people have already signed it. Things move fast.
Jim isn't making this decision as a president. He's making it as a husband and a father.
He's not wrong.
I repeat, General Radek is now being released.
Now what?
Now we return to our homeland. More Radek will decide how best to use you. Now that we know you are willing to negotiate.
Oh, ouch.
A nation needs so many things.
He's out. The henchman is dead. I just realized that henchman who died was the pilot. How will they even land?
Drop the gun! You make one mistake! When you killed my pilot, Mr. President!
Right, exactly. The pilot's dead.
You lose! And I win!
Mrs. First Lady. Coming in clutch. Oh man.
Get off my plane.
Yes! This is the movie where he says, "Get off my plane." That is one iconic line. And his neck's broke. That dude is dead as we hear triumphant patriotic music by Jerry Goldsmith. Ooh, right. Two more things have to be resolved. That general and how they'll land. Come on, give the order. Oh, he's dead. And the Russian president is so happy.
We have retaken the plane!
How long since you've flown, sir?
We have one traitor remaining.
We're tracking 6 MiGs closing on your position. I'm sending in our F-15s to protect you.
MiGs are pretty competent fighter jets.
Guys, these makes get closer. I'm gonna have to maneuver this thing.
Oh, that's one brave pilot right there. I think these are real explosions superimposed on screen. Awesome.
With the damage, there's no way they can land.
I just had a wild idea.
Time is critical. Start turning north.
Air Force One?
Dude, this is pretty crazy. I wonder how they're doing it production-wise.
How's my speed?
That's the pilot! We got it!
Very cool. Very impressive from a production standpoint.
I have to take you! Mr. President! It's time to get you off this plane!
That's a true patriot right there.
It was you!
Yeah, it was him.
I trusted you with my life.
So will the next president!
We have to pull up!
Oh. Oh man, he's God, he's dead.
Liberty 2-4 is changing call sign.
You can hear Jerry Goldsmith's triumphant and patriotic music again. Good for you, Madam Vice President. That was a really fun movie. I wouldn't say it was like cinematic brilliance or anything, but for what it was near perfect, right? Good stuff. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was a ton of fun. The story was crazy outlandish and very far from real, but Wolfgang Peterson did a great job with presenting us with a well-made political action thriller. I would say the strengths of the film to be its direction, story, score, performances, and production design, whereas my main weakness had to be the plausibility of the plot itself. I mean, the story was so fun and crazy, but there is no world I would consider this realistic at all. I mean, the President of the United States fighting terrorists on a plane. I mean, this isn't the biggest of complaints because I was expecting to be entertained and I got exactly what was advertised. Let's start with the directing by Wolfgang Peterson and the script by Andrew W. Marlowe. Please correct me if my pronunciation is wrong. The writer and director take a little time in setting up the plot by introducing us to Radek's capture. Radek was the rogue general. That was quickly followed by the president celebrating with his Russian counterpart in Moscow. We get to know a little about the president, his family, and his stance on negotiating with terrorists, which we find out is the true backbone of the story. From this point on, almost the entire film happens on board Air Force One. A couple of Radek's loyalists manage to get invited on board under the guise of being press before they take over the plane with the help of a mole. They take everybody hostage, with the president seemingly escaping on his escape pod. Turns out he doesn't, and he literally wages guerrilla warfare against the terrorist. I mean, he did have Vietnam War experience and some helicopter piloting experience, but how implausible is that? I understand his family is still on board, and I even buy the fact that he doesn't choose to flee, but almost everything from that point on works in the president's favor, because I think he had very thick plot armor. I don't think they would have killed the president in the first act or anything. At the end of the day, after various twists and turns and betrayals, the president manages to save everyone on board. Not everyone, actually, quite a few of them died, but he managed to save his family, which is very important, I guess. With the help of one of his majors, played by William H. Macy. I thought his performance was great, by the way. He's good in almost everything he does. Anyway, seems like Wolfgang Peterson, he loves to make movies in enclosed or confined environments. Poseidon was on a ship, Das Boot in a submarine, and this one on a plane. It definitely adds to the tension as there is nowhere to run or hide. Plus, I'm pretty sure it also helps with the budget, as they don't have to make so many sets to shoot in many different locations. I think Peterson spent a lot of his production budget on the action and CGI here, the visual effects mostly. I'm going to be reviewing Das Boot on the channel in the coming weeks, but do let me know whether I should also review The Neverending Story, since The Neverending Story is a completely different genre. So I'd be interested to see how Peterson handles something like that. Okay, let's talk a little about the performances, because it was clearly one of the strengths of the movie. Gary Oldman as Igor was just fantastic. He probably had the best performance of the cast. Unhinged Gary Oldman is just amazing to watch. He's a true chameleon and a master of acting. I think I saw a lot of Norman Stansfield from the character he played in Leon here, channeled in his performance here. And that's a very good thing. Do check out my review of Leon the Professional on the channel. Glenn Close was also very good in her role as the vice president. Her character was strong mentally, and I'd say she was very well written, fairly realistic, with airtight morals and a strong belief in her commander-in-chief. Xander Berkeley, although had a small role as the mole, Gibbs, he played his character to perfection too, and I had no issues with his performance either. Finally, Harrison Ford as President Marshall was Harrison Ford in an action film, which means he was excellent. I think this was one of the final times he played an action star or an action hero, as his age was visibly showing, but even well into his 50s, I had no troubles in believing what he was doing, at least his physical performance. One thing I liked about his character was the no negotiating with terrorists part, although that falters a little when his daughter is directly threatened and he agrees to release Radek. It only helped reinforce his views when Igor, the bad guy, he goes back on his words. I really liked the writing in that particular moment. Having said that, the entire plot was so outlandish. It made me laugh at many points in the movie, and I guess you could see that on my face. I don't know whether that was intentional by Peterson here, but it did have that effect on me. The implausibility aspect is probably my only criticism of the movie. I think something like, the president dying at the end, but everybody else getting saved would have probably been a more realistic approach. I don't know. Again, that's just only my opinion. The score by Jerry Goldsmith was great. He really mixed it up here with patriotic music in the more triumphant moments and almost spy thriller music during the tense or action scenes. The sound design was also a strong point in the production, as the action sequences felt like they had a lot of weight to them. The explosions sounded fantastic. And speaking of the production end, that was probably the strongest point in the film after the acting. The visual effects for that time were very good, especially the explosions. The stunt work was fantastic. Case in point, the entire extraction scene at the end, holy crap, the stuff with the wires, I still have no idea how they were doing that. Or even that refueling scene. And I wonder how they achieved some of those shots, because they look fairly realistic. And whether they got so many people to parachute down for real, the fact that I'm even questioning that goes to show that it was very well done, which is a big compliment to the entire production team. Awesome stuff. As I've talked about my main criticism already, the implausibility, overall, Air Force One was a great time. Although the plot wasn't plausible at all, Wolfgang Peterson did a fantastic job in bringing this unrealistic script to life. That's the whole point of a movie. The entire cast were great, the production end was fantastic, and even the score was commendable. I would recommend this film for a weekend where you just want to see a great action thriller backed up by a solid cast and their performances. I wouldn't go in expecting realism, and sometimes that's not what you want. You want to be entertained once in a while, and this film was very entertaining. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Considering a Patreon, subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.